Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now on this video, I'll be sharing with you 3 powerful metaphors that can transform our life. Now let's first off understand, and something I share in a lot of my videos, is that our definitions create what we experience. That based upon what we define to be true, what we believe to be true, those beliefs and definitions are then the reflection that we get in our life. So when we change those definitions and those beliefs, everything on the outside can then begin to change, because that's what the outside is. In a way, it's like a mirror. Now, in order to change those definitions, what is necessary is for us to shift our perspective, and I'm going to be giving in this video a process for being able to transform those metaphors that we have. Now, let's also understand the power of metaphors. Now, metaphors have been something that has been taught for thousands of years. A lot of the earliest teachings that we have that have carried through the times have been metaphors because of the way our brain works and how we are able to relate to them. Now, with metaphors, realize that we all have certain metaphors for the way the world works. Now, based on those metaphors, those are going to carry with it the weight of those definitions, the weight of those limitations many times. And when we get to the core of what those metaphors are, that's when then we can change them and transform them into a more powerful and fulfilling metaphor. So the first metaphor I want to share with you is one that I think a lot of people can relate to, and that is attributing work with a grind. Now, grind doesn't have to be a negative thing, but a lot of times it is. People say things like nose to the grindstone, and when there's that kind of connotation into that relation of associating our work with a grind or something that has negative emotions, if that's the context of the word grind, then what happens is we perpetuate that emotion when we go to work. Now, how can we transform that? Well, instead of viewing work as a grind, view work as play. Now, it seems something that's so simple, but it really is that simple. When you start to associate your work with something that you can learn from, and when you associate learning with playing because you're expanding, you're growing, that's when then we start to carry with it a more powerful association. So when you go to work tomorrow, instead of dreading it, feel and be aware of the metaphor that you have, or just simply the definitions that you have. And this was something that I had to learn because I realized that I was starting, especially a couple months ago, I started doing these videos full time, and my time became much more valuable because the only things I really do is I go to work, I edit videos, and I film videos. Like that's, I go to the gym for an hour and a half a day, but other than that, that's all that I do. So if I were to go to work and it were to be slow, I would be thinking to myself of all the things that I could be doing, and it would cause a lot of negative resistance inside of me. So what I chose to do was, instead of viewing it as I have to go to work, I started to see that I was choosing to go to work. I started to view it as something that I could still learn from. I wasn't better than where I was working. Now, of course, my time has changed and what I'm doing has changed as well. But in that moment, what made it a lot easier was me allowing and choosing that I was there and starting to associate it with learning. There was still always something that I could learn, whether it's how to interact with certain types of people or whatever it was, expanding that perception. Now, that changed my feelings and the emotions I brought to the table, and all you have to simply do is change from work being a grind, work being a burden, something that you hate to do, and always looking towards the weekend. Start to associate work with being play, with being something you choose to do, with being something that you learn from, and associate learning with playing. That is a powerful way to then enjoy what you're doing, and that's why I chose it to be the #1 metaphor, because it's something that we can all really relate to. Now, the second metaphor that I have for you is changing life being like a test to life being more like a game. Now let's look and dissect both of these. If life is like a test, what kind of emotion comes from something being a test? Well, most likely we went to a school system where we had to take tests on things that we didn't really, there's like a negative association with that. And when we think of a test, we think of judgment. We think of that negative connotation of us being analyzed. Now, thinking life is a test can sometimes have the connotation of then having a lesson from negative experiences, which can be a powerful thing. But when we always feel like we are being tested, what happens is we always feel so serious in the moment. We feel like there's always eyes on us. But if we change from life being a test to life being like a game, feel how that feels different. Now, right off the bat, life feeling like a game, there's a lot more fun in it. There's a lot more possibility because you realize that you have control over the direction that you go, just like you would if you were playing a game. Now, this will dramatically change the way you see the world, because rather than seeing things that are happening to you and it all being a serious test, it's more of something that you have control over the action that you take in the present moment, and then also loosening it up and having a lot more fun with this. This has changed my energy because I don't view things as such seriousness. I view it as more of something that's curious, something that's playful, and that's changed everything about the way I respond to the world and the way that I also show up in the world. Now, the third metaphor I have for you is viewing life as a gift. Now, this involves bringing gratitude into our daily experience. When we start to view our life as something that is precious, something that is sacred, or something that is as a gift, it changes the whole way that we see everything. Because instead of life being like something that's so burdened by karma, or something that's like, you know, we're paying for something that we did before, that has a certain energy under it. And of course, we can learn from prior experiences, but the power really comes in the gratitude for where we are. The ability of breathing in and out air, of eating and drinking water, or whatever it is, we can start to see the gift and the gratitude for having just the bare necessities, for having relationships to other people, for being alive right now. There's so many different ways of looking at it, but if you simply have gratitude in your daily experience and you start to view your life as a gift, it will change everything, because then you start to generate the emotion within of feeling that gratitude, and then you start to get more and more experiences in your life that reflect that gratitude back to you. Remember, it's more about who we are being than what we are thinking about, and if we are embodying those emotions of gratitude, we will start to then see more of a reflection in our life of that feeling. So simply decide that you can focus on, when you wake up in the morning, the things that you're most grateful for. Pick 3 things every day, focus on them until you generate the emotion within and realize that life is a gift. So these metaphors are powerful for transforming our life experience. The way our brain works is very influenced by metaphors. So if you start to simply see that life is a gift, if you start to know that you can influence and change it from being a test to being more of a game, that will make a profound change in your life, and all you simply have to do is decide to see it from a new point of view. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste. Alright, bye.